to the video. In today's video, we're going to talk about networking. And this is not going to be like those typical networking videos that you see on YouTube and all over the internet where they give 5 tips about networking. But I'm going to tell you about 3 stories, about 3 things where I went out of my way in terms of networking and things where I got benefited. So these are stories where I put myself in very uncomfortable situations, but ultimately they led to really good opportunities. So these are 3 stories where I experienced the power of networking firsthand and realized how important it is for each one of you as a student to go out there and network. Alright, so story number 1. I was in my second year of college, and back then I used to freelance a lot. And I learned this way, me and a bunch of other friends, we learned this way of building chatbots. So if you guys don't know what chatbots are, every time you go to a website, you'll see one small icon at the bottom. When you click on the icon, it shows up and it sort of automatically chats with you and helps you out with certain things. Right? So that was a very, very hot topic back in my second year of college. Every company was using it. Lot of startups were using chatbots, and a lot of chatbot startups were making a lot of money. So I was like, यहाँ पे जाना है. We need to start making some chatbots. So me and a bunch of other friends, Vinith, Keenan, Shreyans, we started making chatbots. But there was one issue. We knew technology, we knew how to code, we knew how to present, but we did not have any clients. We did not know anyone in the industry, any startup or any company which wanted our service, which was getting a chatbot onboarded. So what I did was I went on Facebook and I started looking for people working in the chatbot domain, right? Now I know this is not something that you should be doing, or neither did I think that it was logical to do, but I was just going to different business Facebook groups and looking at people and seeing where each one of them is working. And that's where I found a person called Yogesh. I'm not going to tell his full name so that you don't stalk him. But Yogesh he was working for a chatbot startup, right? And he was trying to start up himself. So instead of looking at him like a competitor, I went up to him and I was like, dude, we have a good team. We have people who are ready to build chatbots. Can you help us get a client? Maybe we can share the revenue. And guess what? Our very first client for Hulock, which was a chatbot startup, came from Yogesh. He helped us get our very first client. It was a fertility clinic. They had a really cool website, and they wanted a chatbot. And that's how that was a pretty good financial success as well, and one of the biggest projects we had taken back then. Now this was super cool, and I think it was only possible because I had the motivation to go on Facebook, look at each person's profile, see where they're working, and ultimately cold message them and be like, hey, can we get on a call? And not only that, Yogesh and I worked on a bunch of other projects as well later on. That was quite a good experience, and I would have never met Yogesh if I did not cold message him on Facebook that day. So lesson to be learned is be shameless. Do not care about what the other person is going to think. As long as you're adding value and as long as they're adding value to you, it should be totally fine. That's how networking works. Don't be selfish. Don't be like, acha, mere ko client mil jayega uske through. Don't be like that. Be like, hey, this is what I'm going to offer you and that's what you're going to offer me. And have a conversation, build a relationship, and that goes a very long way. Be around smart people and network with them. Alright, so here's the second story. Back at BITS Goa, जब सब कुछ normal था, जब हम लोग college में रहते थे, hostel में, there was this person called Mohit Bhandari, and he used to run this fintech startup called AlgoCart. And these were like the only people in our college who were running successful startups while being in college. Right? They already raised their first round of funding, they were doing pretty well, and I was really inspired by them. But I never had the guts to go out and talk to him or be like, hey bro, I want to understand about what you guys are doing. Once I DM'd one of the co-founders on LinkedIn, but he never replied. So I was like, these guys are too far off. ये कोई अलग सी दुनिया में मेरी औकात नहीं है कि मैं उनसे बात करूँगा. And I just gave up on it. But soon I was like, hey, this is not going to work out. I need to somehow, go and talk to them. So I don't know how, but then I knew we had some mutual friends, and somehow we were like, अच्छा ठीक है, mess में जाके एक दिन मिलेंगे एक दूसरे से. I'm also interested in startups and I would love to know more about your startup. So on LinkedIn, I used to post a lot about marketing back in those days. And fortunately, he saw one of those posts and he texted me and he said, hey dude, let's meet in the mess at 1 a.m. So this, in colleges, usually 1 a.m. to a.m. is the time when most people meet because subah classes rehta hai, and then in the evenings people just chill. So mostly these meeting at 1 a.m. is not something new. We were just used to it. So we met at the mess at 1 a.m. We spoke about marketing, we spoke about startups, and we became good friends, right? So that's when I felt that, hey, why was I thinking कि इसकी औकात मेरी औकात नहीं है? We're just people, and both of us share one thing in common, which is talking about business and startups. And then eventually, I used to go to his hostel room. We used to, these guys had whiteboard and they were doing sales. They were building up cool products. They were coding all the time. It was super inspiring. And eventually we just became good friends, interested in one common thing. Later on, he connected me with, okay, cut kar de Sharia isko. So this thing got over a long time back. I was still in touch with Mohit. And later on, I had to get an internship for summer, right? And this was super hard for me because I had zero internships. I did not know whom to pitch. I did not know whom to cold call. And I was totally clueless about how I'm going to sort out my internships. And then one day I got a call from Mohit saying, hey, this person from this company wants to meet him. It was one of Mohit's contact. And I spoke to that person. I cannot reveal the name of the company. I'm not supposed to, but it's a unicorn. It's a huge startup in the financial sector, and it's just massive. I think you might have seen their ads or something. But I got a call from Mohit saying, hey, this person from this company wants to meet you. And that's how I was eventually sort of able to talk to them. I did not accept the internship offer because Clinifi was working and I had to work on Clinifi full time. But that was a huge, huge opportunity that Mohit presented me because he had one of his contacts. So yeah, that's how randomly meeting at the mess at 1 a.m. in the night in college helped me sort of land my first internship at a huge ass company. So that's story number 2. Lesson learned is that never ever think that someone is too big for you, because you never know, the most strangest people, the most randomest people might end up helping you when you need them the most. Story number 3. This is a story of how Clinifi raised its first round of funding. Now, before this, I used to run HuLock, and when we used to run HuLock, we shamelessly approached investors, right? And even a lot of investors approached us, and we used to accept all the offers. Okay, so we were just a bunch of kids in college trying to build something, and every time an investor approached us, on LinkedIn, you'll keep getting messages saying, hey, I want to have a meeting. We said yes to all of them. Though we knew कि हमारी औकात नहीं है, हम उतने बड़े startup नहीं है कि investment ले लेंगे, but still we said yes to every single one of them. And we had meetings. So what used to happen in all those investor meetings is that we used to get on a call with the investor, and every time we got on a call, the investor was like, Acha, what are you building? Okay, cool. How old are you? We used to be like 19, 20, and they used to think that, hey, these are just kids trying to work on some project. It's not even big. It's just revenue bhi zyada nahi hai inka. So they used to say no, and we got rejected so many times by multiple investors, right? And one of them was 100x VC, so they also rejected us, and they were like, no, we're not going to invest. But we did take these calls. We were shameless. We took these calls with huge investors because we thought ki connection bana rahega, right? We'll know them, and maybe sometime in the future, we might get lucky. Now, later on, after a year of getting rejected by 100x, we applied again. We didn't apply again, but we were in touch with the person at 100x, and he texted me saying, hey, Harish, I saw you that you moved on from HuLock to Clinifi. Would you like to chat again? And we chatted again, and we had lots of conversations. We went through a couple of days of negotiation, and ultimately, they were our first investors. So you never know. People who rejected you in the past could also sort of understand what you're doing and then become good friends. So that was my story. This lesson that I learned is being persistent. So even if someone rejects you multiple times, even if they don't respond to your text multiple times, it's totally fine. You never know, someday magic might happen. So these were 3 lessons that I learned from my networking journey. I hope this was useful. I hope this wasn't gyani, and these are just personal experiences that I'd love to share with you guys. And that's pretty much it. I hope to see you in the next one. Keep networking, keep texting people, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to network with me, then you should join our Discord server. Link is given in the description down below. Join our WhatsApp group, and then from there you can join Discord. I come on voice chats more often than not, so we can meet, chat, and talk. Take care. Bye.